No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied the equal protection of the laws. Thank you so much. This constitutional provision perhaps is the ultimate favorite of most beauty pageant contestants, especially in gay pageantry, when citing a legal basis for their answer, and not to mention responding to gender discrimination and inequality questions. But to further our knowledge, we need to study this thoroughly. Article 1, Section 1 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution expressly enshrines the value of legal processes or proceedings against governmental actions that are capricious or arbitrary in nature. Furthermore, this provision clearly states that no person shall, meaning excluded of nationality or race, as long as someone is under the territorial jurisdiction of the government, is hereby granted of such. Is it real? And yes, AFAM or foreigners are included. Likewise, private corporations, for the purposes of the guarantees with regard to their property, they are also included and entitled to this. However, as municipal organizations are merely products of state, thus this is not an included case. This also goes into further detail on the need of defending one's life, liberty, and property, which is the state's top priority. With this general understanding, let's unearth much deeper. This constitutes two fundamental clauses. One is due process of law, and two is the equal protection of the laws. We can conclude that there is a due process when the law hears every side of the story, favoring nothing, undergo thorough investigation and fact-finding, and legal judgments are made only after a fair and impartial trial. Nothing more, nothing less. When it arises otherwise, due process is absent. There are two aspects of due process. One is the substantive due process, entailing the how, fair, reasonable, and just the law is. So even if proper procedures are followed, a law can still be challenged if it violates fundamental rights or freedom of the people. And two is the procedural due process. It enforces fair steps, ensuring justice is fairly administered without prejudice or bias. In layman's term, when a law unfairly targets a specific group of people or unreasonably limits a person's freedom without a legitimate governmental interest, could be a challenge under substantive due process. Well, if a person arrested and he is not informed of the charges and then given no chance to defend themselves in court, is a challenge of procedural due process. Number 2 clause is the equal protection of the law. This signifies that all persons subject to legislation should be treated alike, under like circumstances and conditions confirmed and liabilities imposed. Thus, even the most hate-suspected person has the right to equal protection of the law because he is innocent until proven guilty. Although equal protection requires fairness in the application of laws, there are situations where reasonable classification is allowed. There are 6. 1. Foreign corporations are made to pay a higher amount of taxes than that paid by domestic corporations. 2. Certain professions are limited to persons of the male sex. 3. Certain privileges for leaves and shorter hours of labor extended to women are not extended to men. 4. Preference is given to Filipino citizens in the list of public market stalls. 5. Professions or different professions are taxed at different amounts. 6. And definitely not the least, employment in factories of children under designated ages is prohibited, so no to child labor. This principle of equal protection upholds fairness in the legal system while allowing for distinctions that are justified by legitimate governmental or societal interests. So, whenever someone trampled you like a paper and silenced you through bullets and bombs, fire them back by authoring this provision. No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied the equal protection of the laws.